How's it going, everybody? Thank you for watching this video. And just a quick note, if you guys are subscribed, or if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. And when you do, click this little bell here on my channel and get all notifications sent to you from my channel. That way you guys can be updated with all of my channel updates and uploads and whatever else I do on here. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, so this is just going to send a message saying how many players are online and how many we're waiting for. And so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our game start, right? And now the game start isn't going to, or actually let's first set up our explosion countdown. So we're just going to create a new Bukkit runnable, and we'll go ahead and import that. And we're going to go ahead and run the task timer asynchronously. And we'll do plugin, we'll do a delay of 0, and we'll do a period of 20 ticks. And now what we just need is we just need at override public void run. It might just be public run. No, public void run, yep. And what we have to do now is we have to go ahead and check for all players online. So for, why is that all the way over there? So for player as well as bucket dot get online players. We want to go ahead and check. Well, we don't need to check anything just yet, but for the players, we want to go ahead and say if explosion countdown is greater than 0. We want to go ahead and say explosion countdown equals explosion countdown -1. And then we want to say else if it is not greater than 0. We want to do something that we haven't quite done yet, and this is going to be plugin dot game mechanics here. So we have to go ahead to our main class here, and we have to go ahead and say public game mechanics GM, or well, game mechanics, and then we want to, and on enable, we are just going to say, let's just go ahead and just say public void instance classes, because I just want to make everything very clean, and we're going to instance classes there. So then we want to say game mechanics equals new game mechanics, and then we'll go back to here and we'll say public dot game mechanics dot which it doesn't exist yet. We're going to say TNT check, and it is going to be for a player. And we'll get to this, so don't worry about this. Just for right now, just do this. This TNT check. Well, actually, we can go ahead and create the method inside of our game mechanics here. So you can just go ahead and do the auto creation there, because we're going to need that. And basically, this TNT check is going to check if the player has TNT on their head, and if it does, it's going to explode. And yeah, so now that is done. And now the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and do our lobby countdown. And we actually forgot to implement one more thing in here, which is the public void player check, because we want to check to make sure that there is enough players online. So we're just going to copy all of this, because we're going to need all of that, and we'll just do this, and we'll add a couple of those, and all right. And then we want to go ahead and say run task asynchronously. We'll just go 0, and we'll go period 20L, and we will just put that on in there. All right, and now we want to go ahead and say, and actually we don't really have to do it this way, so we're going to actually just get rid of that, and we're just going to say int online, and then we're going to say if online is greater than or is equal to players needed, we are going to start the lobby countdown. Lobby countdown. And we are also going to set oh, we didn't create a getter and setter. So create a getter and setter for the is started. That's what I was. Then we're going to say set started as true. And then we want to go ahead and cancel this task timer. All right, so now that that's set up, we can continue on to our lobby countdown, which again, it is going to have everything that this explosion counter has, except for the players, because we don't need to check the online players per se. And then we will just do this, and now we will just run task timer asynchronously. Plugin delay is 0, and our period is 20L, which again is 1 second or 20 ticks. And now in our lobby countdown, we are going to say if lobby countdown is greater than or equal to 0, or sorry, is greater than 0, we are going to say lobby countdown equals lobby countdown -1, and else if it is less than 0, we're going to say else game start. And so what else do we have left? So we have our game start and our game stop. So in our game start right now, there's not a whole lot going on. But once our game starts, we have to do a couple things, right? So we have to teleport the player to its respective spot, right? So we're just going to say for, and we're just going to copy this down here because I'm tired of writing it. So for player equals, for Bukkit.getOnline players, we want to say, we'll actually just go ahead and say online plus that, so that way that message goes away. So we want to say player.teleport, and we want to teleport them to game spawn. Sorry if you just heard that burp. Also, what we want to do is we want to set their walk speed. So set walk speed, and we'll just set it as 4 for right now. I don't really know how fast that is off the top of my head. And then we want to do one last thing here. We want to go ahead and grab that explosion countdown, and we want to go ahead and start that explosion countdown. And all right, so then also we want to say we want this to start back over, or we want this to keep going. So then we want to say explosion countdown equal to, and what do we have first? 30 seconds equal to 30. So then we want explosion counter equal to 30. All right. So let me tell you quickly what we did inside of this. We're not going to do anything with GameStop yet because we don't have anything to do quite yet with GameStop. So what we did, and now just remember, this is not complete. So this probably right now won't do a whole lot because we haven't implemented everything yet. So right now what is happening is this class is in charge of quite a lot of things. Like I said, it is our game manager. So it is running everything that we need it to do. So right here, it is setting up our game, which for right now, all we're doing is we're just setting the game spawns, but we want to separate those out because that is part of the setup. So it's setting the spawns based on our config, which we don't have set up yet, but we'll do that because it's not all that complicated. And then we have our lobby wait. So this is what's going to happen when the player joins the lobby. So what we can go ahead and do here is we can go in our game mechanics. In the on join, we can go ahead and say plugin.gamemechanics. Or not game mechanics, sorry. Did I do the wrong one? I wanted to do game manager as well. I want game manager. So we want public game manager. I was wondering why it wasn't working. And then we want game manager equals new game manager. Okay. Now that we have that. Okay, so in our game mechanics now we want to go ahead and say, oops. Pull that right back into there. We want to say plugin.game manager dot, and we want, I totally just forgot what I was doing. I literally just like totally forgot. Lobby wait, there we go. We want to do lobby wait and the player, and it's going to do that. And every time it's going to, so every time a player joins the server, lobby wait is going to be run, and it is going to send out a message saying online plus whatever. Well, we're gonna have it say there are currently blank of 10, or there are currently X of 2 players online and needed for the server to start, whatever, or the game to start. And then what we have is we have a player check that is constantly running, right? So what it's doing is it's checking if the online, or actually, we don't even need this really to be a runnable, now that I think of it. So we can literally just, we can get rid of this. And we can add, so we actually forgot to do this. So in the lobby wait, we will actually just go ahead and say player check. And this requires a integer, which would be online. So every time that a player joins now, it's going to run the player check, which is going to check to see if the online value is equal, or the integer is equal to the player's needed integer above. And if it is, we're going to start the lobby countdown, and then we're going to set it started. And then we also want to go ahead and do this cancel there. So it's going to start the lobby countdown, which is going to do a countdown checking, and it's going to count down, and it's saying if the lobby countdown is greater than 0, we are going to set the lobby equal to lobby countdown minus 1, and lobby countdown is set right up here, which is 10. And then what it's going to do, if it does not equal, or if it is less than 0, it's going to start the game, or it's going to run the game start, and it's going to cancel this runnable. And then when the game starts, for all the players, it's going to teleport them to the game spawn, which we set in the setup, and then it's going to set their walk speed. And it's also going to start the explosion countdown, which is going to run a runnable, which checks for all the players. Well, it doesn't do anything quite yet. This does. So it's going to say if it's greater, if the explosion count is greater than 0, we're going to -1. Else we're going to check the game mechanics. We're going to do TNT check and set explosion back to 30. And in this TNT check, we don't have anything, and this is what we will work on next episode. We are going to work on our game mechanics class, because this is going to start getting into the actual, mechanics of the game and how the game is supposed to operate and how it will operate. And just to give you a quick look into that, that is going to have a couple things here, which is going to have the, the player TNT plays, which is going to happen when the player hits another player. And it's going to have the start TNT placer, which is going to find a bunch of random players, however many that you might want that to be. And then it's going to place TNT. And then we're going to have the TNT check, which we have right there, which is just going to check for all the players that have TNT on their head. And if they do, it's going to explode. And we need to do one more thing in our player manager here while we're here, is we actually need to go ahead and say private boolean has TNT. Because now we need to check to see if that player has TNT. So we need boolean has TNT, and then we want to go ahead and say this dot has TNT equals has TNT, and then we'll create the getter and setter. And now we can check, which we'll need this next episode, so just go ahead and add in this episode. But yeah, so you guys have a lot set up. We need to actually just fix that too in our game mechanics there. So once again, I know this was kind of a lot and kind of very quick, but all the code will be available to you guys on GitHub, so make sure to go check that out if you guys are having some troubles following along. Like I said, I did move quite quickly because I wanted to cover as much as I could in the short amount of time that I had. Like, as you can see, I'm already 26 minutes in, so this will probably get split into 2 videos, to be honest. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to leave a comment, drop a like, and subscribe.